Your ability to close the integrity gap between the things you know you ought to be doing and your actual behavior. The integrity gap is the distance between the things I know I ought to do and what I'm actually doing. You know what I'm talking about. You know how many hours of sleep you need. You know whether you didn't get it. You don't need me to tell you that. You know if you're missing it, that's causing you drag. You know how to eat. You don't need me to tell you. But you know the things you ought to eat, and you know when you're not eating them. Do you know what I'm saying? You know the type of phone calls you should be making. You know the type of audios that you should be listening to. You know the things you ought to be doing. Your ability to close the gap between what you know you should be doing and what you're actually doing is the integrity gap. If you can figure this thing out in your 20s, when it comes to mentoring, you got to get off self, you got to get on others. Get off self and on others. Motives matter. You got to be good with your motives. It's not about you. The word is altruistic. It's one of my favorite words. Right? I'm going to give you the vector definition of altruistic. It's being radically sold out to the success of others. That's the vectorized version. The Webster's boring version is being dedicated to the well-being of another person. Okay, some of you are sitting in the room thinking, I don't have it all figured out. I can't mentor anybody. You don't have to have it all figured out. I don't have it all figured out. You just got to be a little further up the road than the person that you're helping. If you want to be a mentor, in fact, if you're looking for a good mentor, you don't have to have one that's got everything figured out. In fact, most of you, it's not appropriate to be field trained by Michelle Keenan. It's not appropriate. She's way up the road. You need somebody a little closer to you, like $8,000 if you're a brand new rep, $6,000 even. Heck, if you're at zero, somebody with $4,000 knows more than you do about selling Cutco. Yes or yes? You mentor me? Yes! Now, some of you also will just disqualify yourselves. You're like, I can't do it. I'm not good enough. You need to get off yourself and start helping people. You have talents, skills, abilities. Whether you like it or not, you've got talents, skills, and abilities. I'm encouraging you to get over yourself and just start helping people. Just start helping people. Some of you are like, I'm nobody special. My family's all messed up. I'm divorced. My parents are divorced. Whatever. I'm a broke student. How can I help people? I'm a broke student from a divorced, broken family. Messed up. I don't even know who my dad is. I want you to stop disqualifying yourself. You got to change the world. Some of you are sitting here going, I don't have a sexy story. Pretty plain. My parents are together. I have money. I know what I'm doing with my life. Well, you're weird. Not normal. We love you. My wife's like this. Don't feel bad that you don't have a messy story. I never got hooked on drugs. Don't feel bad about that. I never made bad decisions. I asked my wife when I first started dating her, I said, what's the skeleton in the closet? Let's just let it all hang out. Start dating. That's a big question, by the way. So tell me something you'd never want me to know about you. She goes, I rode my bike into town once against my father's wishes. That's the skeleton in the closet. That's it. It's a bone, honey. It's no skeleton. She goes, how about you? I'm like, I was married before. No click. All right, we're good. Keep her. Nice. That's what I'm saying. You got to work with what you've got. What you've got may have surprised you. It's not by accident. And you can use what you've been through. Get off yourself. Just get on others. Help them out. In fact, I'm going to say this. The more you've been through, the more you can help others. You can help people in ways that nobody else can. You're in good company. Broke student, divorced, we've got plenty of room for you. You'll fit in well here. But motives matter. Start thinking about creative ways to make a difference. Get off self, get on others. Here's the third point, is get some results. Right? You gotta get some results. You gotta get some. You gotta get something. Sales is hard. I get it. Sales is hard. Of course. Get your fail on. The more times you fail, the more times you'll succeed. Some people are afraid of just trying because they're afraid that they're going to fail. They're afraid they're going to miss. They're afraid they're going to fly out of the tree. They're afraid they're going to get stung by the cobra. They're afraid they're going to get stung by bees. Adversity is good. How can you help people if you haven't failed? How can you help people if you haven't failed? If you haven't been where they are? I love discipline. The most disciplined beast in the animal kingdom is the honey badger. Show your hands. You're familiar with it. look at the honey badgers by show of hands. Show of hands, you've seen Randall's video on YouTube. Care? Had a bad day at the office? Honey badger don't care. Have a bad day of sales? Honey badger don't care. Drive all the way to demo, not there? Honey badger don't care. Honey badger don't give up. Honey badger is tenacious. They're crazy. They don't care. Think about it. He's up in the tree, the first one. I mean, he's not even worried about the snake's venom at that point. He's 7 feet up. Honey badger don't care. He's like, what if I fall? He's like, I'll figure it out. He's like, oh, I got stung. And then eats the snake that bit him. But to go branch, you got to be able to relate to what your reps are going through. That's why you got to sell a lot of knives. That's why. You got to hit by venom a few times. You get stung by bees a few times. Otherwise, you're not very worthwhile in terms of experience if you haven't failed. You got to fail a few times. So go out and get your fail on this week. Honey badgers don't care. So get some skills. You got to get some sales, right? Get some results. Get some skills. Where do you get skills in Vector? Well, we've got a lot of ways you can learn. Where can you get big ideas in our business? Go. Managers, where else can you get big ideas? How else can you learn? Field training. Oh, who said field training? Nice, field training. Huge. We're going to talk about that one in a second, right? Where else? Vector Connect, right? We got audio. Where else? Key staff meetings. Get on key staff if you're not already. Workshops. Talks at team meetings. How about giving the talks eventually? Like I've heard 8 talks now on leads. Great. Next time you hear it, it's you giving it. That's a new level. Get some skills. Once you've got some skills, got some results, then you can start field training people. It's one of my favorites. It's the very basic form of mentorship in our company. Right? Taking another rep with you. Just take it with you. We're always better when we're watched, aren't we? But part of it's also that you're going to do the demo by the book. Why? Somebody's watching. And guess what? You might sell more. That's a good deal. Sometimes you can say, Mrs. Jones, I got something with me. You just got to get it. Help a brother out. You got to show them how to do this. Field training. Take somebody with you. Field training rocks. By the way, if you're helping a ton of people, you're getting skills, you're selling, and you're helping a lot of people, we're going to want you to do that a lot more. That's what happened for me. I sold about 30 grand with a Cutco my first year. I was helping a lot of people. They said, would you be the pilot sales manager for our office? I'm like, I get to work with Joe? You kidding me? I got to work with Joe. Field training was the doorway. As I was doing all these demos and started selling a lot of Cutco, yeah, I won a scholarship. It was amazing. And it's like everything clicked. Everything hit. I mean, I went to a lot of workshops before it clicked. I didn't come out of the gates very fast. I sold $1,100 on my fast start. It took me all summer to get to FSL. I didn't crush it at the beginning, but at some point, everything coalesced. There was convergence at some point, and it worked. I don't know what's going to hit for you. It could be the day. Well, I finished number 2 in the scholarship. I discovered what surf and turf was. It's amazing. Working around Cutco people. I got my first comma check. Show of hands, you've heard of a comma check before. Right? We don't actually write checks anymore. Right? We just mostly do direct deposit. But I got my first comma check and I cashed it for cash. It was like $1,184 and I'm like, I want it all. Give it to me now. And I put it in my pocket and it felt huge and conspicuous, like everybody knew. Right? And what I had in my pocket, right? And I took my girlfriend out for like lunch and we bought, ridiculous, it was gonna be like an $80 lunch tab. She's like, how are you gonna pay for all this? I go, with this. I wanted to motorboat it, you know what I'm saying? It was so gorgeous and beautiful. It's Canadian money, so it's even prettier. But the point is, I started saving some money. I didn't spend it all, right? But I enjoyed it while I was earning it. And I saved $4 grand so I could open up my own branch. If you're interested in being a great protege and really go branch eventually, here's some thoughts. First is gratitude. Some of your managers this week, they followed me on a blog that I put out. And I was talking about how to be a great protege, how to find a great mentor. And one of the things I was talking about this week was gratitude. Communicate to those who have helped you so far. Let them know. This is one of those scenarios where it encourages you as much as it does them. When you share how somebody's made a difference. Hey, do you have a high school teacher you need to follow up with and let them know? You have like an old youth group leader, you need to call up and say, thank you. You know, I was just a kid, I kind of missed it before, but now I really appreciate what you did for me.